What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am, and today I've got a story for y'all that's pretty sick. It was actually told to me by a friend of mine that I'm pretty close with about how he ended up making like 30 grand because his cousin gave him his old Pokemon card collection, his older cousin, and he ended up going through it and finding out that he had a bunch of cards in great condition. Regardless, I just figured it was a pretty cool story, so I would share it with y'all. Before we get into it, though, be sure to press the like button, or no joke, no scam, your cool cousin will never do anything cool for you again. Yeah, that's right. And without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so as I said, this friend of mine and me, you know, we grew up in the early 2000s. I was born in 99, so like, I guess on a major technicality, I'm a quote-unquote 90s kid, but I'm not. And I was super into Pokemon when I was younger, right around the time that, like, Generation 3 came out, you know, for those of you that don't know what that is, you know, Torchic, Mudkip, like that generation. And around that time, I got super into the Pokemon cards, so did a lot of my childhood friends, just because, like, it was super popular at the time, and it has been for a long time. And obviously when you get into stuff when you're a child, like, it sticks with you for a while. To this day, I still think Pokemon's pretty cool. I don't care if it's lame, you know, it's because I played it when I was a kid. It's just always going to be pretty cool to me, and a lot of my friends that I played Pokemon with when I was younger, you know, we had that same mentality. And one of my friends in particular that was the most into Pokemon, I'm going to name him Sam. And Sam, you know, he was the guy who was most into Pokemon out of all of us. And he had, like, I mean, tubs full of cards. Like, you know those 50-gallon tubs? He had one of those just full of Pokemon cards. And, you know, we didn't really play much anymore, obviously. We had just kind of grown out of it. It's still really cool, but, like, we weren't really playing with our Pokemon cards much anymore. And last year, during the Pokemon card, like, craze, he ended up going through his collection, selling all of his cards. I don't know how much money he made that time, you know. He had, like, a tub full of them, just different types and hollows and whatnot. All I know is that he ended up getting a car and taking a pretty cool vacation quickly after that as well. So, like, he made some bank selling his Pokemon cards. And, you know, whenever we would talk, we would reminisce sometimes about, like, the old days and playing Pokemon and all the fun stuff that we used to do with the cards and whatnot. And obviously, because this had happened recently when he had sold his collection, he would kind of talk about it relatively often. And I guess, you know, at a family event, he was talking to one of his older cousins who had been like a kid right when Pokemon started to get poppin' in the 90s. You know, like 7, 8 years old. And he's talking to him and he mentions that he had sold all of his Pokemon cards and like made some good money doing it. And his cousin is kind of like, hey man, I have 8 binders full of all my Pokemon cards. Do you want to go through them and see if they're worth anything? You know, and if you sell it, I'll tell you what, you can keep 75% of the money because I'm not ever going to get around to selling them. I don't know how to do it. I don't know what I'm doing. So if you do it, you can keep most of the money. And he's like, yeah, sure, okay, you know, I'll come take a look at him. Not really thinking it's going to be worth anything, but just trying to be nice to his cousin. So he goes over to his cousin's house and he brings the first binder out and he opens it and he immediately knows that, like, all right, he might be in for the jackpot here. On the first page is like a first edition Blastoise holo card, you know, a bunch of like old first generation Pokemon cards. Not all of them are incredibly valuable, but even just like some normal cards from that era now are worth like 10, 15 bucks, and he just has binders and binders full of them. And, you know, he's kind of looking through it, and he gets through the first binder, and he's like, wow, this is impressive. And he goes through the rest of the binders, the other 8, and he says, honestly, man, you got a very valuable collection here. I'm going to have to, like, do some price searching when I get home, but honestly, you're probably going to make, like, thousands and thousands of dollars off of this. And he tells his cousin he can't take 75%, he would feel bad, so they agree to do like a 50-50 split, right? So he goes home, and through these 8 binders, he's researching, he's doing everything, and it comes out to like somewhere in the ballpark of $45,000, you know, depending on how they priced everything, like if they wanted it to sell quickly, if they wanted it to go slow. And this dude had just had these cards in his binders for like years and years and years, and they had been kept in good condition. He hadn't like bent the cards or, you know, really played with them much. He had just kind of collected them in the binder, almost like a stamp collector from back in the day. So they're in great condition. And they're talking about it, and for whatever reason, the cousin's like, I remember having some first edition cards with the Japanese writing, the Pocket Monster cards. So he starts looking through his stuff, and sure enough, he finds an entire binder full of those. So they add those, you know, he had some of the rare first editions from the Pocket Monster collection. And it ends up being like $60,000 when everything's all said and done after, they bundled the energy cards and sold those. They had some really rare holos that were impressive. The holo Blastoise was obviously one of the most valuable cards there. But like all things considered, they end up finding $60,000 worth of Pokemon cards in this cousin's just like attic. It was just chilling there in his binders. He just remembered having them. And because my friend was just constantly bragging about, selling his collection and how much he had made, they had worked together on it. So obviously, during this entire thing, his cousin is treating Sam like an absolute god, bro. Like, wow, you're actually going to be able to sell this, that's so cool. How did you get into this? And Sam's like, honestly, bro, I just was trying to make money. Like, my job sucked, and I remembered that I had Pokemon cards, and he watches Twitch a lot, and everybody was doing the card openings and talking about how valuable their cards are. And so they're like, all right, well, this is awesome. They end up selling the cards. Some of them still have to get sold, but most of them have kind of sold at this point. And they're just stoked, bro. They are hyped as humanly possible. All right, guys, I'm going to interrupt the video for just 1 second real quick. On screen now is a PlayStation gift card. For those of you that don't know, I give away a gift card in every single video I post on this channel as a way to say thank you to everyone that's subscribed with those notifications on. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe, turn on those notifications so you never miss another video. I literally give away free money, so you got nothing to lose. And if you already do, then thank you. You help out the channel a bunch. And I'm going to shut up and get back to the video now. Thanks. So as I said, they're splitting it 50-50, so he's going to make about $30,000 from that. So he's stoked, he's kind of telling me this story. But come to find out, his cousin, obviously, being a Pokemon collector from his childhood who was really into it, his childhood friends were also pretty into it. So he kind of starts talking to them, and he's telling them about, man, my cousin helped me sell these cards. He did it 50-50, da-da-da-da-da, we made all this money. Well, his friends are like, all right, well, I have a bunch of old Pokemon cards, somewhere. My mom's got them, my dad's got them, they're somewhere in my attic. All of his childhood friends kind of have a similar situation. And he kind of tells them, well, if you get your cards together, I'll talk to my cousin, and I'm sure he'd help you sell them. So, like, my friend Sam is basically getting this little consignment business from all these old dudes who, like, grew up in the early 90s, so they have all these old Pokemon cards. Some of them not in good condition. Some of them, were definitely using them to, like, cover their ice box in their lunch pack or whatever. But, some of them have really cool stuff in good condition, and because they don't know what they're doing or, like, how to get rid of it, they're all coming to him and giving him 50% of the profits if he can get rid of this stuff. So he's got like this little business now, all because his cousin, by coincidence, just happened to have an insanely rare Pokemon card collection that he didn't know how to sell, and he had already done it once. And the wildest part is I asked him, like, is it really complicated? Like, is it a bunch of work? And he was like, not really. I just kind of look it up on eBay and a couple of the Pokemon selling websites to get a price area, like general consensus. And then I list it kind of just underneath that, and usually the cards sell pretty quickly. Because over the last year, people have kind of started to look at Pokemon as a investment. I'm doing air quotes, I wouldn't really invest a lot of my net worth into Pokemon cards personally, but if you really know what you're doing, more power to you, I guess. So people are constantly looking for stuff like just under market value because they feel like they're getting a great deal and whatnot. So, hey, dog, for anybody out there that's got, a bunch of old Pokemon cards laying around from your childhood, go through them. Any cards that are rare, any holos or whatever, look them up. You might be sitting on a bit of a gold mine, dude. I really need to go through all mine, pick out my super rare cards from when I was a kid, dude. I've probably got some stuff. But either way, I just thought this was a pretty cool story, It's not every day that somebody ends up accidentally starting a business selling Pokemon cards. I feel like that's not something people bump into on a daily basis. But hey, some of y'all might be living cooler lives than me out there. Honestly, dude, I can't wait till, like, all the stuff I had when a kid, that I held on to, like, becomes worth something, My Xbox 360 is suddenly worth 10 grand in 30 years, I'm telling y'all, hang on to your stuff, keep it in good shape. You never know what you're sitting on. But anyways, guys, I think that's going to do it for the video. I know this was a shorter one, but hopefully you guys enjoyed just a little bit more of a chill video for you guys today. If you did enjoy and you really want to help out the channel, if you go into the description, I put some stories on Spotify for y'all to listen to, so if you want to check those out, I'd appreciate it. Other than that, a link to the merch store can also be found in the description. It's pretty cool if you ask me, but you can get yourself some merch from there. And yeah, last but certainly not least, if you use code SCRUBBY at the G Fuel checkout, you get yourself a discount and the best energy drink for gamers. So, it really really is a win-win. You should treat yourself like a king. And yeah, other than that, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Subscribe, turn on notifications, like, comment, all that good stuff. Hopefully, I'll see you guys next time. And on that note, don't get anybody pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot. And hopefully, I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out. Peace.